This first one is, and this is used like it's almost empty, but Miss Eva NYC. Can you see that? And this is actually the therapy session hair mask. This is what I started out with. This stuff is amazing. And I use it every time I shampoo. Now, I only shampoo my hair a couple of times a week. And so I'm deep conditioning a couple of times a week. This one is almost empty. And I went into Marshall's one day and I found this. Advanced Clinicals Biotin Anti-Breakage Hair Mask. And I don't just buy anything, so I took my phone and I looked it up while I was standing in the store, and the reviews on it were absolutely amazing, and I will tell you every single review was on point. So would I buy it again? I would buy either of these again. So that's just one thing that we lose. The other thing we lose is memory, and this is a serious topic because it goes far beyond misplacing your keys, and I've talked about this before. This is way more dramatic than that. This is forgetting why your ass pulled up in the grocery store parking lot forgetful. And this is routinely. Like, this happens all the time. So, you know, someone watching this is like, oh, I always forget shit. But when it gets to the point that you cannot function, it's a problem. And that's when it can begin to scare us. Because as women, and I've talked about this in the past, we're expected to do so many different things that our memory is one of the most important things that we have. And it's one of the most detrimental things if we lose it. Because then people start taking car keys and they think that you need a babysitter and all kinds of shit. It's awful. So hormones, go back to hormones. When you're dealing with menopause and maybe you don't know it, it does affect your memory. And you'll hear things like brain fog. You'll hear confusion. Women use all different types of terms to explain what they're dealing with when it comes to potential memory loss. So how can I fix it? So glad you asked. Diet is one of the most important things that you can do. Fruits, vegetables. Get rid of the trash you're eating. Stay away from the fast food. I'll eat it once in a while. Leave the shit alone. One of the most important nutrients when it comes to memory is folic acid. Well, I'll just go to the store and get me a supplement. You can do that, but it's going to take longer to get in your system. And then you don't know exactly how much of that supplement is pure enough to even affect you to do its job. So where do I get folic acid if you don't want me to go buy a folic acid supplement? Now, I'm not telling you not to go buy it. What I'm telling you is it's going to take longer to get in your system, and it is something that we need. So you look at things like spinach, edamame, lentils, asparagus, avocados, peas, broccoli, kale, walnuts, whole grains. All of those foods have folic acid in them. So what am I telling you? I'm telling you need to get rid of the trash and you need to incorporate more of the good shit into your diet because that's going to help with the brain fog. Along with getting your hormones balanced. Whether that is utilizing the estrogen that I continually talk about, or if you lean more towards the pharmaceutical side, which is going to be HRT, you have at it. Either way, those are things that are going to help with your memory. And you will get it back. I did. And sometimes I think my husband wishes maybe I hadn't. But the other thing we lose, and men, this is extremely important if you're listening to this, is metabolism. What does metabolism mean? For most of us women, it means our figure. Because as we get older and as we begin to go through menopause and that metabolism begins to drop, we begin to put on a few extra pounds. And remember, I went back to not feeling sexy and attractive. And you hear all the time, women will say, well, my husband left me for a younger woman. She was a lot thinner. She was a lot prettier. Of course she is. She hasn't been through all the shit that we have yet. But I also feel like if we knew more about menopause on the front end, we could help deal with these symptoms better and manage them a lot easier. So with metabolism, what did I tell you? The one thing you were going to continually hear during this video is diet. Diet is so important. It affects every piece of you, everything. Emotionally, physically, I cannot stress enough how important your diet is. So, when we think about metabolism and weight gain, there's three things I immediately go to, because women, we can be the worst at this type of shit. First of all, sugars. You're like, well, I don't eat a lot of sugar. You don't know that. There is sugar in so many things. Bread has sugar in it. When you make toast and you get that nice little crust on the top, what do you think that is? It's sugar. So the bread heats up, the sugar rises, and you get that nice little crunchy coat on the top. You're eating sugar. That's why your more healthier breads, Dave's. We eat Dave's. When we eat bread, we eat Dave's. Dave's doesn't toast up very well. It'll get firm. I'll throw it in the air fryer or the toaster. I like my air fryer better. And it'll get a little hard, but it won't toast up like regular bread does, because it doesn't have the sugar in it. Okay? The third thing is alcohol. Oh, you're just taking everything away from me. Yes and no. Because remember, we're talking about getting back to feeling attractive and feeling sexy. And I'm not telling you that once you get this shit under control, that you can't occasionally, in moderation, have some of these things. I'm telling you that while you're trying to get your symptoms under control, these are things that you should pull back on or decrease your intake on. So, when you think about bread, why do you think they call that nice little piece of fat that hangs over your pants a muffin top? It's because a lot of the times it's bread. And what did I say bread has in it? Sugar. And then you got alcohol, because I'm telling you now, a lot of women aren't going for, a shot of vodka. They're going for a daiquiri, or I don't drink. So whatever other sugary drinks are out there, that's what you're going for. And so that sugar has to have somewhere to go. And the best place that it can find is where the bread is going. So I'm going to hit your waist. And every time you consume me, I'm going to hit your ass again. It's going to your ass. It's going to your waist. And that stuff just continues to collect. Get your diets in check. Stop eating the bullshit. And men, if you're one of those men, and I do know a couple of these, my husband is not like this. If you know that your wife is trying to lose weight and she's trying to better herself, do not come in the door with shit that you know she's not supposed to eat and try to encourage her to partake in it. This is serious. Because I've heard and seen more women fall off of the back of the truck and hang on to the axle because their spouse isn't being supportive in this journey. And as we get older, that journey becomes more important. You should become more conscious of what you're putting into your body and knowing what you should not be partaking in. Again, I'm not saying at some point you can't have it in moderation. Yes, occasionally I'll bake a cake and I will have a piece of it, but I'm not doing it all the time. It's not something that I feel like I need all the time, and I don't want it all the time, because part of it is I know what it does to me. So with metabolism, exercise. Whether that's just taking off and walking for 30 minutes a day for the rest of your damn life, then that's what you need to be doing. You don't want a gym membership? Don't go get one. You don't want to lift weights? Don't do it. Even though it does help with bone density, and lifting weights is going to be way more beneficial for you than just doing a shit ton of cardio. But at the minimum, you need to be walking at least 30 minutes a day. Men, get out there and walk with your significant others for a half hour a day. If anything, it'll give you all some time to spend together that's not sitting on the couch watching television or having a sugary alcoholic drink, which I just told you need to get rid of. It is quality time that you all can spend together, and it's only 30 minutes. You spend 30 minutes or more just scrolling on social media a day. Take that 30 minutes, get outside with your partner, encourage her to do it. Not because she's putting on weight. Don't tell her that. Don't say, oh, honey, you're getting a little tubby there. We should probably go walk. No, be supportive. Tell her, put your shoes on. Let's get dressed. You'll feel better. We'll feel better. Let's go get our walk in. Be supportive. Get rid of the sodas. I don't care if they're sugar-free. I'm telling you, the sugar-free is worse than just having the regular run-of-the-mill soda. You might as well drink a regular soda. Sodas will pack weight on you, even pre-menopause, worse than anything else. So as you age, learn to put the sodas away. You do not need them. A lot of times it's the carbonation. Go get you some mineral water and a half a lime. Guarantee you it's going to do the same thing for you. But you're addicted to the sugar in those products. And all they're doing is putting that nice little muffin top around your waistline. The next thing I want to talk about that we lose is bone density. How do I fix it? Lift weights. It's as simple as that. Well, that and diet. Remember, there's that nasty word again. Lifting weights is going to help you increase bone density. It is what it is. Limit the cardio, do more weight training. Yes, you can break a sweat, because that's my preference. I hate cardio. If I'm sitting here and I'm being 110% honest with you, I am telling you I despise cardio. I get bored. Now, I can go outside and walk, which I do. I walk dogs. But I know there's an end game. When I'm walking outside, I have to walk back. If I'm in the gym and I'm on the treadmill, I'm looking at everything. I'm bored. How much longer is this? I have to be moving. That's my personality. So standing still on a piece of equipment doing cardio doesn't work for me. I've talked about group fitness. For some people, that works. For me, I have a couple of areas, problem areas for myself, and I don't want to get in a group setting because I know what my modifications are, but I also know if I get in a group, I have a competitive side. So if I get involved in group fitness and they're doing something, I'm going to want to do it just because, you know what, I can do that. But if I'm disciplined enough to work out on my own and I know what areas of my body are problematic for me, I can do mine on my own and be okay. So if you cannot, I encourage you to get involved in a gym and get in some group fitness classes. Okay. The other thing is essential aminos. Now, you have lots of foods that have aminos in them, but I'm going to tell you, and I eat pretty well, but I also have days where I'm not really hungry. And so I'll make sure that I get my shake with my collagen, and, you know, I'll make sure I have a salad. I also take essential aminos on a daily. And it is, my dosage is 4, and I will put them in the description of this video because I did not bring the bottle in here with me, so I will put it below for you. It is one that I've found that works. I like it. I have been taking it, this one almost a month, and I can tell my energy levels are up. I can tell my workouts are better. And so I recommend finding you a good amino. If you don't mind drinking them, that's fine. I like my water. And I'm not real big on flavored water, and a lot of the unflavored aminos can be kind of chalky, and I'm not a fan of that either, which means I'm not going to drink it. So I'll take my 4 little capsules and I'll be done with it. I take mine at bedtime. Increase your protein. So, and I never steer anyone towards a whey protein because it is harder to digest and it is harder on the liver and the kidneys because they have to filter that out, and it's dairy based. I don't do dairy at all. So I stick to my plant-based proteins, and pea protein is amazing. Do I have a preference in proteins? I like the Huel when I can get it at a decent price. That's Huel. But I will tell you that Vitamin Shop has some amazing plant-based proteins, and it's their products. All you have to go go into the store and ask them for their products, and they will direct you to their plant-based proteins. And I've tried them all, the vanilla, the chocolate. I like all of them. I don't have a preference. They taste great. They have that thick consistency, whether you put it in some form of a plant-based milk or water. I've done it in both. So there's easier ways to increase your protein rather than just eating it, because I know for me, sometimes my day gets away from me and I may not eat as much as I should. So I will supplement that with my protein shake, because I can't just toss a scoop in my water and go on my merry way. The other major thing that we lose is our shit. Mood swings. We can be the sweetest people And when we hit menopause, we just lose our shit. Everything pisses us off. Everything is a crisis. Women are built off of emotions, men. It's just nature. So by nature, we are reactors. And some of us are very vocal reactors, and some are more introverted and they internalize it more. So you have to keep that in mind. And you're like, well, what do I do when my wife loses her shit? Some men do different things. For mine knows pretty much when it is my hormones, when it is menopause. And he will just kind of go and grab his laptop and do whatever he needs to do that's work related. And sometimes he'll just turn something on the TV and he'll just kind of let me simmer, because he knows when it's over, I'm going to come back around. Sometimes you may go for a drive. Go to the store. If there's some stuff you need from the store, go get it. Because I guarantee you when you come back, she's probably going to be in a lot better mood. How do we keep from losing our shit? Sometimes you can't. Some of the key factors, though, women, is knowing yourself. Know who you are. And know also when you're being pulled out of character by things like hormones. Because I was able to go, this isn't me. I did a video before where I damn near killed my husband over some socks. Like it was major for me. I had a complete fucking meltdown over some socks. And when I was able to leave the house and sit by myself, I was like, God, that is so not me. Like, that should not piss me off. So it's a lot of it is about knowing yourself. Okay. The other thing is, don't be afraid to apologize. As women, sometimes it's hard for us to just say, I'm sorry, I fucked up. When you're dealing with hormones, it is important to know yourself and to know that sometimes you are going to need to apologize. Because it's the things that we say that we cannot take back. Depending on who you're talking to, those things will have a lasting impression. You apologizing and owning it and knowing that it is your hormones and holding yourself accountable to say that you are definitely working on those and providing the actions behind that are going to mean more than anything to some people. You have to remember, menopause education is it's more profound now than it has been in years. More and more women are becoming more comfortable talking about it. And so sometimes you have to be the educator in your household. Okay? The diet and exercise. Exercise helps us increase our endorphins, those positive hormones that we need that can get you to be addicted to exercise. And I'm speaking from experience. There are times I do not feel like working out, and I can tell you after I'm done, I am on top of the world. The other word we continue to talk about is diet. Your diet has a lot to do with your moods. Processed foods have a lot of preservatives in them that make you crave the food. It's not the actual, I want macaroni and cheese. It's a specific type of macaroni and cheese that you want. It's not the taco from Taco Bell. It is specifically the products from Taco Bell that you want because of the preservatives that are in them, and those are addictive. They will cause mood swings. So I tell you, know what's in your food. We prepare our food. We really don't eat out that often. There's lots of reasons behind that. One of them is I know what I'm putting in our food that's going into our bodies, and someone else is not preparing it for me in a kitchen that I know nothing about, with products that I know nothing about. Because at the end of the day, they can tell you whatever they want to tell you as far as what they are making your food out of. But do you really know that to be true? The other thing we lose is sleep, which will affect everything about us. It's going to affect our mood. It's going to affect our bodies, because if your body isn't getting enough rest, it's not going to recover in order for you to be able to continue on an exercise regimen that's going to do you any good. That's a lot of information to process. Things that affect our sleep during menopause, men. One of the major things is hot flashes. And I know you've heard it. People talk about it on TikTok. People talk about it in the grocery store. Maybe your grandmother's talked about it. Maybe your mom has talked about it. It's not just a hot flash and it passes and it's gone. It affects everything. Your sleep is just one of them. Like I enjoy cuddling with my husband. I can tell you that. But when I have a hot flash, I can literally feel the sweat coming out of my pores. So if we're cuddling immediately, it's not even a slow, you gotta move. I need you to get off me. Covers are coming off. The fan, I live with Pearl is my best friend, my fan. Pearl stays on all night long on high. Like, that's all I want. I just want the fan. And so what does that do for him? Pushes him back to the side. So with that being said, it cuts cuddle time. It makes you irritable, because nothing is worse than getting showered, feeling good. Maybe you put on a little makeup. And I'm not talking about bedtime, but I'm just talking about in general. You put on a little makeup, you've done your hair, boom, you get a hot flash. Makeup melts off. You can feel the sweat coming through the pores in your head. The clothes that you put on that you felt cute in are now drenched. So this is another thing that affects women as far as feeling good about ourselves and feeling sexy. There's nothing sexy about sweat coming out of every pore and orifice in your body. So get a good fan. Get your hormones balanced. I keep going back to estrogen. Estrogen also makes a supplement that has melatonin in it. Okay, so the melatonin will help you sleep. I'm going to say something else that's going to be a sensitive subject for some people. Don't be afraid of THC. So someone watching this is saying, oh, now you're telling me to go smoke weed. Or a man is saying, now you want me to go tell my wife to smoke weed. That is not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is there are some legal products that are legal everywhere that will do miracles to help you sleep. Delta 8, Delta 9. You can buy them at pretty much any CBD store. They are 110% legal. And I can tell you from experience, they will help you sleep. It doesn't take much. A drop or two at night and you will sleep like a baby. Sometimes I sleep through some of my hot flashes. And I know I had them because of the way that I wake up. But guess what? They didn't keep me awake. I was able to sleep through them, and that's extremely important when you're dealing with menopause. Cut caffeine. Oh shit, I said a word there. How do I know? My hot flashes got to a point to where they were the worst they'd been, and this is going on 2 years. So 2-3 months ago, they got really bad. Kept hearing, I kept reading, heard testimonies. Caffeine is not good for hot flashes. It increases them. It is absolutely the truth. The detox was hell. It was complete hell. But after over 30 years, my body had had a buildup of it, and I was just consuming more because, of course, my tolerance was so high, that little bit of caffeine that I was drinking before just wasn't doing it for me anymore. So I detoxed it, and I will tell you, occasionally I do have some, but it's not in large amounts like I was having before. So the daytime hot flashes for me have pretty much gone. Occasionally I'll have one during the day, but if I'm going to have them, those bitches are coming at night. I'm just letting you know. The big elephant in the room, sex drive. Sex drive. We feel less attractive, so guess what happens? There's less activity in the bedroom. How do I fix it? I have heard women say, I just use coconut oil. Well, coconut oil may be okay for the vaginal dryness, but it doesn't increase your urge to have sex. So how do I fix it? Well, the dryness part, drink lots of water. I'm telling you, drink lots of water. Your body needs to be hydrated for lots of reasons, but I will tell you, it also helps us down there. And that's all I really drink. I have hot tea and water. I drink water all day long. The other thing is estrogen or HRT. Your hormones are not balanced. So women, that's extremely important. You can get it back. I did. I had a doctor tell me, well, once you get started, you should be okay. Once I get started, that's the problem. I was having trouble getting started. And so I had to figure this shit out on my own, because the first thing they want to throw at you is HRT, and I am not an advocate for HRT. I have my personal reasons behind that. And I do not take anything at face value because I know everything has a side effect. And if the side effects outweigh the positives, I'm not taking it. So estrogen worked for me. That was a starting point. I already had my diet and exercise under control. My water consumption was perfect. So the estrogen is really what did it for me. Self-care. Self-care is going to help make you feel sexy again, women. So men, hear me when I say that sometimes you may have to push your wife to go do a little self-care, and it's okay. Whether self-care is different for everyone. Sometimes it's just going to get an uninterrupted workout in. Sometimes it's getting their nails done. Sometimes it's getting their hair done. Sometimes it's a pedicure, maybe a massage. Self-care comes in all forms. And men, sometimes you may have to encourage that and be supportive of it. Because guess what? If your wife can dress up and feel good about herself and feel attractive and go do something positive for herself, what do you think that's going to do in the bedroom? It works wonders. You also have to remember, men, that for women, sex starts before you hit the bedroom. So if you're encouraging her to go do something for herself, what do you think that's going to do for her? Because the truth is, even before menopause, most women just couldn't get in the bedroom and go, oh yeah, I'm ready. You got to do a little work before that. And that's just in general with women. With menopause, it gets worse. Try new things in the bedroom. Someone's going, I just like good old-fashioned sex. Why? I mean, you don't have to talk about your sex life with everyone. Some men, I have heard, see sex toys as competition in the bedroom. See it as a supplement. Because remember I told you that, women can't just jump into it. Sometimes we need a little help. And it's not that you're not enough, it's just that our bodies are built different. So go to a sex store together. Yes, I'm telling you to go and pick out something together and experiment in the bedroom if you really want your sex life back. What was the other thing? I lost my train of thought. Your marriage. It's the last thing I want to talk about that so many women lose during menopause. We lose our marriages for lots of reasons. I am fortunate enough that my husband was able to help me identify menopause, and together we've worked through that. Some women are not so lucky, and I've made this statement before. In the heat of the moment, when your emotions and hormones are all over the place, your husband may come to you and say, I want a divorce. And I had a woman that said this today. Her husband said, I want a divorce. And she said, okay. She's okay right now. But once her hormones are balanced and she begins to feel like herself, she may not be okay with that. Some men just get to a point to where they look at their wife and they go, this is not the woman I married at all. And because we've not been able to identify and come to terms with what we're dealing with, and I'm talking about menopause, sometimes it just goes on. And it takes work, women. It takes a lot of work to get ourselves back. Yes, you're going to have wrinkles. Yes, you're going to age. Yes, they can go get a younger woman, but guess what? Eventually she's going to go through menopause and they're going to be back at square one. So who better to work through menopause with than the woman that you have invested years with? Because she can come back. But women, we have to do the work to help fix the issues: hormones, diet, exercise, self-care, being open in the bedroom to try new things. You have to show that you're putting in work. You can't just give up. And men, on the flip side, you have to be supportive, and you have to understand that what your wife is dealing with is what the next woman, should you decide to jump out of your marriage, is going to deal with at some point in her life. And you're going to have to circle right back. And by then, guess what? You're going to be old too. Your marriage is one of the most important things that you can lose. And everything that I've talked about leads up to that. Lack of sleep increases irritability, which increases the emotional roller coaster that we're already dealing with. Gaining weight decreases us feeling attractive. Losing our hair or hair breaking off makes us feel less attractive. This can all be fixed. All of it. I've kept y'all a little bit longer than I wanted. I hope some of you stayed to listen. If you didn't, I hope you come back and finish the video. If you like this, go ahead and hit subscribe, like, comment. Let me know if there's something else we need to talk about. Y'all have a great afternoon.